Hello, beautiful people. I am just hanging out here in between meditating and doing yoga. And this message came to me, for me, and I wanted to share it with you in case it was a contribution to your life as well. Lately, I've been going through some adrenal fatigue and not knowing really how to take care of myself, honestly. And so this whole concept of self-care aware came to me this morning. And so if you sometimes are like, self-care, how should I do it? What should I do? Is it being selfish, or this is how I dealt with myself in the past? Nothing's working. What do I do? If any of those questions kind of are on your mind, this video might be interesting to you, because this is what's up for me too. So stay tuned, right? Keep listening. And thanks for joining me here. So my background is that I'm a wellness educator. I'm trained in lots of different energy work. I've been trained in iridology and nutritional counseling, and what else? Yeah, I'm a sound healer. So personally, I feel like I know how to take care of myself kind of academically. But what this video is about is being self-care aware, meaning that we kind of have to destroy and uncreate the past to know how to take care of ourselves in the present. And this has just come to me today about how many times I try to recreate the past to create my present and future. And this has to do with self-care as well. And it occurred to me in a very strange way, actually. I'm crazy about being outside. I love nature. I love being outside. And sometimes it's a little dysfunctional, the idea that if it's nice out, I have to be outside, and I get in my head around it. Well, in the past, I did a lot of hiking and biking and climbing, and I was just outside a lot, and I had a lot of joy there. It created a lot of joy in my life. So now, 20 years later, in my 20s, I was doing a lot of that. And now, 20 some years later, here I am. And I keep thinking that when it's nice out, I have to go do those things to be happy, to experience nature. And it occurred to me the other day, and I was telling my husband about this, because he can't stand this piece about me that like every time it's nice out, I'm like, I gotta go be outside. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm living in a past reality every time it's nice out. And I think I should go be outside in a certain way. And so that was starting to live in my awareness. And then today I started to realize, oh my goodness, I'm doing the same thing with self-care. I am trying to take care of myself from a past reality, from a way that I've taken care of myself in the past. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to do those things that brought me joy in the past, but it means that I'm going to check in this present moment, is if this is a contribution, or am I on the right path for this present moment? And so that kind of just really hit me really big right now, because I am going through a lot of shifts and changes. And a lot of those things I attribute to awakening and ascension. And now I have to face a reality that my hormones are shifting. I'm in perimenopause, going into menopause, and hormones in my body are shifting too. And that's creating a lot of change. And a lot of the ways that I've been taking care of myself aren't changing anything. And now, so there is a possibility that I'm just going to have to live with what is, instead of trying so hard in the doing process. The whole wellness model and the nutrition model and everything. It's about doing something different, shifting your lifestyle, getting on supplements, eating a different way, doing a certain exercise, and all that doing that I have tried isn't really making a difference. So I'm trying to come really here in the present moment. And what my body is really asking for, my body and being are really asking for the most in this present moment, is to be reclining and resting a lot. And it's tough to give myself that because, you know, my husband and I we work from home, we self-employed, we are just always creating and doing, and I have 2 teenage boys that I'm always, you know, wanting to do for, and it's hard to just keep laying down. And I have all this this judgment around what my husband's gonna think if I'm just laying around the couch all the time, which he's always like, do what you need to do. And it, you know, being self-care aware requires a lot of trust, and it requires a lot of presence, and it requires us to let go of judgment of ourselves. You know, I've just gotten into so much judgment around, I'm just laying around, I'm not doing anything, I'm not really contributing to the household. And, you know, thinking that my husband's judging me. And even if he was, I'd have to let go of that too, because this is what my body and being are asking for right now. And so one, I have to let go of that judgment. But another thing we have to let go of is the idea that you're doing nothing when you're resting. That recuperation is doing a lot, is contributing a lot. And so a lot of times we go into self-care and, like, you know, we have to rest or lay down a lot. That's being selfish, right? That's being selfish with our time. But really what I want to say too is, and this is what I've been talking to myself about, is that self-care is the #1 way that you can contribute to your family, your communities, and to the world. Because when we do self-care, we are tending to the body and being, and ultimately learning how to feel better in body, mind, and spirit. And when we feel better, body, mind, and spirit, our vibration raises. And when our vibration raises and we give out a higher vibration to the planet, we are doing and giving an amazing contribution to the planet and to the collective of humanity. Now, if we keep judging ourselves and saying, I'm not going to do that self-care, I have to be selfless and keep giving and run ourselves ragged until we're, you know, until we have some disease process in our body and we are overwhelmed, agitated, annoyed, discontent, unempowered, fearful, like grief-stricken, and we wait till that, then we're giving that out to the planet. And so that's a different frequency. Sometimes it's a required frequency, and sometimes it's not. So being self-care aware, one, is really about getting present in what your body and being are really asking for. And two, it's about letting go of judgments from yourself and others. And three, it's knowing that you are a contribution if you are following the flow of what your body and being are asking of. And it requires a lot of trusting. Trusting that, you know, life is going to lead you to the next stepping stone. This is where I'm at. I'm like, what's next? I've watched, you know, things that I've worked on for years, being, you know, a coach and being a healer, and honestly, watching myself just have to put that aside because I really have to focus on self right now. And so when I am coaching and mentoring, it is, you know, I'm very specific vibrationally on who I'm working with and what project I'm working on. And it's very far and few, like I'm not taking on a lot. And that's hard for me. I'm used to, like, the first thing that comes my way, I'm like saying yes, oh yes, you know, thinking that everything's in alignment if it's coming my way. That is not true. So what we have to do is really tune into the alignment of our best self, our most highest vibrational self, our best life, and is the thing coming to us a vibrational match for that? And if it's not, then learning to have boundaries and saying no, so it doesn't deplete us even more. And that takes trust. It takes trust not to take a client that's going to, you know, pay your next bill. It takes trust to say no to that financial contribution when you're like, it's not a vibrational contribution. And trusting that something bigger, better, and different possibilities coming your way. And that the next stepping stone is coming. Now, just because a stepping stone comes, I'm realizing, doesn't mean that it's the end all and it's your whole next role for the next part of your whole life. I'm realizing, you know, humbly, that a stepping stone could be just a stepping stone for a brief time, a month, 2 months, a few years. Or it really could develop into a lifelong journey. And I learned that in a business that I was in an MLM business that I was in, that I thought this was going to be an end all, that this was a business I was going to be growing the rest of my life. And it wound up being a year-long journey. And while I still am an ambassador for the brand and I love the products, I had to say no to the business because vibrationally it shifted. And I was willing to do that eventually, and realized that it was a stepping stone in my growth, my abundance growth mindset. And I'm forever grateful for that stepping stone. But I went into it thinking that this is it. This is like, and you know, now I'm being an artist. You know, I draw with swirlies and spirals. And part of me wants to go into this, like, oh, this is the next thing. This is what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. And I got to reel it back a little bit. And it's part of self-care to know that, to not put the pressure and responsibility on oneself that this is it. You know, I have to stay with this forever. That's a big commitment. And as we awaken and we ascend and we raise our vibration, we have to know that we are going to be shifting and changing things in our lives pretty rapidly. And so to really get into the space of like, oh, here we go. It's a stepping stone. And here's the next one, and here's the next one, and here's the next one. And it's why I keep like coming back to, you know, anything that I'm giving out to the world, I just name it my name, because every time I try to name it like a business name, within a year or 2 or 3, I've kind of vibrationally shifted and don't align with it and change my work and all that kind of stuff. So part of being self-care aware is that knowing that energetic stepping stones are coming, and try not to attach a broader reality, broader future reality to it. Yes, we want to be the vibration of the reality we want to choose, but it doesn't mean that we're going to be the actualization of that vibration. We're never going to be stagnant as awakening people. So glomming on to one like fixed reality, say with a business or a partner or a way you do things, a lifestyle, just doesn't work when you start to awaken and raise your vibration and really are asking to live with ascension energies. We are constantly evolving and shifting. And so part of self-care is to tune in vibrationally every day to see if it's still a match, and actually go in and destroy and uncreate everything so you can come into vibrationally a new day, and so that you can really feel into what is the vibration of my best life in this present moment, because that's going to shift as you raise your vibration. And so, you know, doing these videos is such a gift to me, because as I speak this out, I'm getting this in a deeper way that, oh yeah, like really destroy and uncreate all my relationship, all my businesses, all my communications, my marriage, everything. You know, you just destroy and uncreate it energetically, and then ask, okay, then tune into what is the energy of my best life in this body, get the feel of it, and then from there, create with your day, create with your health, create with, you know, lifestyle. And what does that lead to steps in your business, in steps with social media, and steps with conversations, and steps in your marriage, and steps with parenting, and whatever else. It's a little different way than just being in mindset training. Okay, it's a little more sophisticated but simpler than mindset. It's a finer frequency than mindset. And so positive mindset training is wonderful. And now we go into the next phase is feeling the vibration underneath that mindset, or before that mindset and before emotions. So here we are, clearing the slate, becoming super, super present and letting go of judgment. And then we have this blank slate, and this is where trust comes in. What is the next stepping stone vibrationally for my health, for business, for creation, for anything I'm creating? I see business as just creation. My husband and I really see business as just a way of creating in the world, and we have a lot of fun doing it. And sometimes the avenue that we're going down seems to be not vibrationally aligned anymore. So we take a turn, you know, we keep swerving and turning. And that's how I feel, you know, my YouTube channel is like, it's not super, super, super consistent. Like, I feel like it's winding around to different topics and to different frequencies and different offerings. So, self-care. Let's all be self-care aware. One, your self-care is really important to the planet, so make sure you have time for that. Number two is really let go of judgment of where your body and being are asking you to go, which means it could mean just being a couch potato for months, you know, and being allowance of what's okay, you know, and update your strategies, meaning like you get super, super, super present. What worked in the past, even if the past is yesterday, may not work today. You know, get off autopilot with your self-care. Really tune in to what your body and being are truly asking for in this 10 seconds. Yes, I said 10 seconds. It can be that present, okay? Even what I did this morning, like, you know, I'm about to get on my yoga mat. Does my body still want to do yoga? Check in. Keep checking in to see if things are a vibrational match. And that's what I have to keep doing for myself. Keep checking in. Keep asking the question, is this a vibrational match? So that's where I am. And let's see if I get on that yoga mat. We'll see. I'm thinking yes. But in the past, I thought my wellness for my body I had to do 2 hours of yoga, and that is in my head sometimes still. And yet when I get on my mat lately and I really flow with it, I realize, you know, 20 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes is fine. So really let go of the past self-care. And finally, trust that you are going to be okay, and that the next stepping stone to your self-care and your best life is going to show up. Even though you could be like in the air waiting for the rock to show up, waiting to land on something that's not there yet, and it shows up just as you put your foot down. It takes that much trust, I'm learning. And it's hard. It's hard having that much trust, I'm learning too. Like the rock shows up as your foot hits like the water in the river, right? But it's there. You're supported. I'm supported. That takes so much trust, guys. I get it. I'm following that trust too. But we can do it. So let's all be self-care aware. And let me know your journey in the comments. I'd love to hear your story too. So beautiful people, have a wonderful day. Make sure you take time for self-care and really be present with yourselves. Namaste.